Welcome to BrotoGP. This is episode number 92. We are coming at you after the Cota round, the American round of MotoGP, and wait, do we have a lot to talk about? I'm not sure. Kev is shaking his head no. All right, well, Andre Iannone kind of put it back at the front. Marquez did his same old shit. The Cota surface was crazy. Dovi pulled it together and leads the championship. Jorge didn't pull it together, and Amy was so much better than Simon. But all right, let's get this episode going.
Let's.
What's up, guys? Like Rob said, BrotoGP here. I'm Kevin. He's Rob. My man Everett is there, and you are probably dying from boredom from the race that just happened, and it falls squarely on our shoulders. My perfectly broad, amazingly sculpted by Michelangelo himself shoulders on Rob's perfect bird-like, hollow-boned, rock-climbing motorcycle racing shoulders, and Everett's swaggy salesman. I can sell ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves shoulders. There he is, dusting off the dirt because feeling like a pimp he is, and like the pimps we are, this is BrotoGP.
Did you say ketchup popsicle?
You know, those are good.
He accidentally got the reference. Tommy Boy. That's the actual line from the movie. Did you say ketchup popsicle? Yes. Ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves, dog.
You're right. I totally accidentally got the reference. Good job,
exactly.
Kev. Good job. Good job.
It only
No,
took
I
5.
mean, yeah, the race was there was something to be desired with that motorcycle race.
There was
it's
everything
okay.
bizarre and nothing to be said about it. But luckily, post-race, we had some gold come out. So despite the fact that the Dorna Gorgon completely tried to destroy my snowball mic that Rob spent so much money on, that extra day gave us all the more ammo. It backfired, Dorna, because Cal said he could have got second place and he's not a top 6 rider anymore, even though he totally trashed the fucking bike. Matt Oxley wrote an entire article on Motorsport about how all fans that boo were stupid, basically specifically the American fans. And if anyone's paid attention to election results in this country recently, being told you're stupid does not change your mind one bit. It tends to make you double the fuck down on where you're at. The last time you told someone they were stupid is like the last time you told your wife to calm down. Ev, did Christina calm down? I don't think so.
I had that conversation all weekend. You can't tell someone to relax. You plead the fifth.
I try that with my 3-year-old. It does not work. And then she starts telling me to relax. I'm like, fuck, this is not working right.
You plead the fifth?
Are you serious?
I plead the fifth.
3-year-old?
Because they get all emotional and like start screaming. You're like, relax. And they're like, and they just lose it and they're just gone. And then they tell you, Dad, relax. And you're like, you're 3. You're telling me to relax.
Wait, I wasn't sure if you were talking about your wife or your child until you said dad.
No,
Well,
Christina's pretty.
Are you still sure?
No.
Yeah. If you're listening on iTunes, I apologize. We had some technical difficulties yesterday, so you're not able to hear the amazing quality of Kevin's voice because his new microphone decided to shit the bed. If you're watching on YouTube, Kev is actually in HD now.
What's
he is
up,
not
dog?
pixelated.
You can see the pizzas behind me.
You can see the pizzas. You can read what's on his shirt. His left hand is now the expected left hand on the screen, as opposed to before when his iPhone was flipping it and it was his right hand.
Wait, is that? What is that?
It's a bird, bitch.
Get closer. No, get closer with that.
Yeah,
For
Kev has a bird on his.
Because I gotta flip the bird.
Yeah.
Kev has a bird on his middle finger, and he's showing everyone on YouTube.
So clever.
But yeah. So this ability to buy these awesome technological devices that somehow break whenever they get into Kevin's barn. They're brought to you by Riders Law, because Riders Law is our sponsor. They're the ones that pay us to do these episodes and to promote them. And of course, Riders Law, they're your motorcycle accident injury lawyers, especially of California. So if you like them supporting MotoAmerica, having a team in racing, if you like them supporting our podcast and making sure that we can get you laughing about motorcycle racing and talking shit and joining the BrotoGP Army, definitely, please give Riders Law a call. That's Riders Law with a Z. The poster's behind me if you're watching on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube and you're listening to this and you're on your motorcycle, you should probably not listen to podcasts while riding your motorcycle. I feel like that's a little too dangerous.
I would be curious to see how many people would just call them if we just asked them to call them and just say hi. I think that's
Wait, you're telling me you're telling me if we just give Sai's phone number out on the episode, like text Sai, be like, "You're my man." Like, would he just get like literally 1,800 texts tomorrow?
Something, yeah. Just fuck it. Let's show him
that's
that.
kind of.
Let's do it.
Should I do
No.
that? Yes,
absolutely. I mean, I have my phone right here.
309 guys.
Give him the
8675309.
Flip the phones.
I'll have I'll run it by him and see how he feels about it.
He's got to get a burner first.
Yeah, he's got to get a burner. And then, I mean, he loves it when guys at track days and stuff go, "Wait, you're Sai from Riders Law from BrotoGP?" He loves that shit.
Famous.
But yeah, if you need any legal help, and especially if you're in the state of California, please give Riders Law a call. They are amazing lawyers. They do great work. They also like to have fun, so they try and make that whole experience of going to court, which is generally kind of shitty, they make it better for you, so that you don't feel so bad about having to deal with all that stuff. So
as someone who's
give Riders Law a call.
At an Airbnb at the Laguna Seca round with Sai, that there's someone who likes to have some fun is an understatement.
They're good people.
Dudes are real, son.
They're quote unquote good
Straight
people.
real.
Hey, quick question actually on that note. Who are they sponsoring this year? I was trying to figure that out, but I couldn't because there's so many.
Wait, you mean well, in MotoAmerica it's
hold
Michael
on.
Gilbert.
If you want an in-depth answer to this, you can refer to our previous episode where Rob and I covered MotoAmerica rather extensively. If you haven't listened to the episode or you already have, Rob's going to give you the bullet points.
That's a shameless self-plug.
Yeah, right. All right, bullet points real quick. Michael Gilbert in MotoAmerica Supersport, Andrew Lee in MotoAmerica Stock 1000, and Jackson Blackman in MotoAmerica Junior Cup. That's real quick. As a part-time MotoAmerica racer, Robert Pierce, sitting here in front of you on YouTube. And then in AFM, AJ. Oh, what's AJ's last name? Oh, I feel terrible. And there are a few other people. I think there's another. And Fabian Morales at Chuckwalla.
Fabian, what's up? Racer. Shout out.
Yeah, Fabian wants on. I told him he could come over and watch like a QP at my house and we would live stream it. We're going to do that. But all right.
You got for him? Yeah, you can watch qualify with me. it's half practice.
He did explicitly say that he wanted to. Wait, where was it? I should find the text message here.
Real talk though.
Fabian is calling me right now.
What's up, Fabian?
Are we live streaming? Wait a second, Rob. Dude, his ears are on fire.
No, he said when I'm live streaming, he wants to. He's calling me back. No, Fabian, I can't do it. I can't answer. He's
Rob ain't no holler back girl.
The universe.
He wants to sneak up behind me in my office when we're live and say "fuck her" in the. Wait, I bleeped out the wrong one. Fuck her.
That literally sounds
and then
like
run away.
That sounds like a Iannone like afternoon.
Oh, true. Too true. Do not show that.
No, don't show that. No.
Don't show that.
Don't show it. We're gonna get kicked off YouTube.
Don't show it.
It's grab. It's grab.
It looks like it says rabbit.
Okay.
It says grab it by the
something.
That I got that in Cabo.
Right.
I got that in Cabo from the street vendors, the beach vendors. Rather.
Nice.
Gotta keep that. That was like the same
you
week.
You can't get in Cabo from the beach vendors. What is this? This is my 2014 Bay Area Riders Forum Barfy winner. That's throwing it back. That's bringing it all the way back, son. There's like 8 people listening. They're going to get that.
You know what?
Kev, tell us what barf is and tell us what a barfy is real fast.
Barf is, according to the shirt around here behind me somewhere, an online forum that started in 2002, and it's actually also the very first registered AMA online motorcycle club. Mm-hmm. That is where this podcast, via Daddy Dennis, got its start.
That was the closet the startup was founded in. Yeah, the garage rather.
That is the garage, son.
And what is a barfy? What's a barfy?
I talked so much shit, with such skill and dexterity and nuance and humbleness, especially the humbleness. But they were I am literally the humblest, number one at the top of the humble list. They had to give this to me to recognize the greatness.
Was that after your third ban or your fourth?
That was probably after my second.
After your second ban.
Everyone's signing up on
Everyone, you can
Barf
get banned from
now.
internet forums.
History, like, let me go see what he did. Kev was a force to reckon with on the internet.
He still is. He's in the.
What do you mean
was?
In
video,
posters.
in podcast and video format. That was all in text type in forums.
Now it's in real life. Did you guys see? Look, guys, if you're listening here, Cota just happened. We'll get to it. But the fucking BrotoGP fan base, the fam, the army, if you will, fucking invaded Cota like you have no idea. Well, first of all, Jen reached peak Jen. It was like our mascot at Cota with the amount of people that she got pictures with. Are you timing me out? Oh, you were doing a peek. I thought you were timing me out. That fucking video.
Never.
We had dudes literally in like the Yamaha tech briefing. I think like 9 people got pictures with Herb and asked him about boogers.
True. We got that guy that got the picture of Luffy on the plane, fucking asleep,
straight dead asleep, stalking him. Son.
I love that. That was my favorite picture.
I did nerd out on Ruben's pictures of the detailed shots of the M1 and of the MotoAmerica Superbike.
I nerded out on the video that Ruben sent me Saturday night from the strip club where he just was sending videos of strippers.
Oh, it's related to motorcycles.
Wait, so that didn't get posted on the Facebook group?
No, there's no way. I'd be banned from Facebook again because I've been banned from Facebook too. Dorna trying to hold bro down.
Damn. Yeah, everyone. So yeah, the BrotoGP Army was huge. They rolled out at Cota. You got to join the Facebook group if you haven't already.
And that's what I was just going to ask: is how do people just join? They just find it and join.
Find it and click ask to join, and then I, with the soul power, basically God of the internet, if you will, approves or disapproves. And I've never disapproved anyone. It's pure anarchy and it's self-governance, and so far it's working.
It's like the dude in The Walking Dead.
Except for that one guy's dad who signed up and was like, why is everyone so negative in here? And that guy's like, bro, does this guy even listen to the podcast?
You're out. Like Herb's booger, flicked it out.
Like Herb's booger. You got picked out and eaten up quickly.
You know, someone asked what hand he uses, and I feel like he always goes with the right because we see him on camera. He's definitely a righty. And he
Is it flipped?
He does the right hand.
Rob, he has the most perfect Herb booger. It's like he does the little curve thing because Herb has like a style. He comes in inverted and then turns and digs it. It's not like he comes nail towards. Yeah, exactly.
See, we were inverted, and
Herb comes in nail to face. Most of you guys probably pick reaching inwards with your fingernail, but Herb has that next level MotoGP level picking. He comes in nail to face inverted, and he catches it, and he puts a little English on it and loops it through, and it's so big that he traps it with his thumb. Like bam, and then he like delicately, like the most perfect snail, covered in like quattro formaggio, and just
he does kind of just pop it in there. Like I feel like it's not that gentle. Like he just kind of throws it in,
like skee ball.
I don't know.
Yeah, title wrong sex tape. I feel like it's not that gentle. He just kind of throws it in.
Ooh.
I'm fine with that one. I'm fine with that one.
Yeah,
all right.
That's the best one you've ever given him. I'll take it. Sign me the fuck up for that one.
All right, let's talk about some motorcycle racing here. So
there was no racing to talk about. There was one fucking pass the whole race, and then it was a procession. What racing?
Wait,
that's what I wanted to bring up. That's what. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the pass. So we're gonna talk about the pass. And the pass and the pass back.
All in one turn.
So Andrea Iannone, is he back on the motorcycle? He's never left on social media and his Iannone shenanigans. Are him and Suzuki back?
No. It was
yes.
Cota. No.
Oh, you two disagree. Good. Go at it.
Come on. Because Rob is hella tired from staying up with me till like midnight last night trying to fix fucking broken things. He literally messaged me and Ev, it's on you guys to salvage this thing. So I'm ready to argue with Ev.
Yeah.
Ev, you tell me why Sexy ain't back, and then I'll tell you why Sexy's been brought back.
Cota, anomaly of a track. Nobody goes well there. Track was all fucked up on top of it. Riders weren't pushing. Crazy fucking Joe was going for it. He's just not back. Sorry. That's all I got.
Okay, I actually don't disagree with both of those points, so I'm going to throw an audible.
It's hard to argue.
Here's the thing. I think that it is back. I think this was the race when Iannone first signed to Suzuki. Oh, I'm frozen. Everyone's frozen.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, you're good. Keep
okay,
going.
cool. Fuck him. Rob looks drunk as fuck on my screen. It's amazing. Hold on, I got to Instagram
Rob, freeze
it
real
quick. Don't move, Rob. Don't move. Super drunk. If you can see me, it's all good. I'm Instagramming Rob right now. Fuck, he's back. No, he's still drunk.
He missed it.
Okay. Anyways, we talked about when Iannone made this move. I was actually pretty excited about it. I talked to Evan about this, because the Suzuki was known as this nice, stable chassis. It handled really well. You could push it hard, and that was kind of like the opposite of Ducati. Ducati didn't have the greatest chassis, had a lot of motor, but you had to ride the shit out of it. And if you put a guy who's been overriding a poorly handled bike, a poor handling bike for 2, 3, 4 years and stick him on a bike, it was kind of like shades of Valentino 2004. I thought, man, he's going to run away with some races. And then we didn't see it for a variety of reasons. Suzuki signed 2 new riders, never did have any consistency with their riders or their team or their feedback. Iannone had kind of a bad year. Kevin Schwantz took every single moment he possibly could to talk shit about his rider. Alex Rins basically broke
shots.
Right. Alex Rins basically broke his back. By the way, rumors that Suzuki was paying David Emmett to speak poorly about Iannone with the press to been messaged all about this. This dude has evidence, son.
Wait, since when did you become Mulder?
What?
That's a fucking conspiracy theory.
When fucking Dorna sabotaged my perfectly working snowball mic, which was tested on 4 or 5 separate videos and worked flawless to a T, and 2 fucking minutes before the race, before we start to record, the fucking thing breaks.
Yep. I mean, okay, so going back to, we were all stoked because we all thought he was going to get that balanced kind of even keel bike, not a Ducati horsepower point and shoot. He could ride the front end. It was going to be kind of a half measure between the Yamaha and the Ducati. And we thought Iannone would just be super successful on that. And he ultimately didn't do anything until now. So what
right? We saw him last year at Qatar, he was kind of fast before he crashed, right? Which was like, okay, well, he's going to, that's what he's going to do. He's going to crash some races. And it was a kind of a letdown, a big one last year. And then this year, is he back? I don't know. But one thing I can tell you is contract season time, lots of talk about Jorge going to Suzuki, and suddenly Iannone is super fast.
Yeah, I mean, to Everett's point, his finish at Cota was actually probably above his average for last year. So this may be an outlier track for Suzuki and Iannone.
I don't actually disagree with Everett's point that the track was in poor condition. It rained. There was all kinds of stuff. It was dusty as all hell. A couple of the other riders, Yamaha traditionally doesn't go very well there. And Dovizioso had a bad race. Jorge basically doesn't exist in the series anymore. And so it was a chance for Iannone to shine. And we saw when he made that balls out pass, he was fucking 2 inches away from crashing. You know what I mean? But he didn't, and he saved it. Now he pulled away from Valentino to solidify that podium, but I don't necessarily disagree with what Ev is saying that it might be kind of an outlier. But Cota is not traditionally like a powerhouse Suzuki spot. It's not a spot they generally
Ducati. Yeah, Ducati generally hasn't done well either. Right? I mean, they've gotten like 3rd, 4th, or 4th, 5th, and it's interesting how Cota presents such a technical challenge for the manufacturers. Right? It diminishes ability. Like, I feel like it diminishes ability.
Yeah, it's 4 different tracks. Like, every single sector seems to be 4 completely different tracks.
Correct.
You've got the hard braking uphill, which I can't even imagine what that requires the front end. You've got the S's, meaning the bike needs to be completely mobile and getting around. Then you have some really sharp corners that you brake hard into. Then you've got the long, fast straightaway that is the long straightaway out of a really slow corner. Into a few more slow corners, and then the last couple of corners are really fast sweepers. Yeah. So
it's a shitty tailgate track with no flow.
Well, no, but that's what's really fascinating about it is you're right. It's this hodgepodge of effectively tracks, right, and different genres of tracks, and miraculously the Honda, and it makes you wonder, does it really demonstrate who's at the technical pointy end of the spear or whatever you want to call it. I mean,
I don't.
Yamaha.
I don't agree because Marc Marquez wins there every year convincingly, even like in say 2015 when they had a lot of problems, and Jorge goes on to win.
But Pedrosa's usually second, right? Except he got hurt.
Not when he takes out Dovizioso.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Woo!
I think what the track shows is not any of the technical prowess of the motorcycle. I think it literally just shows cojones, especially this year with the bumps being in new spots and being in the wrong spot and the dusty and rain conditions. I just think it shows like what rider can just fucking ignore all the bad shit that their motorcycle is telling them, and they can still push the limit. I mean, that's Marquez.
And the horsepower. Ducati with the slippage on the straight, they couldn't get the power down, so Suzuki looked even better.
It's basically the Isle of Man of the calendar. It's a shitty track in terrible condition with no flow. It doesn't even look like it was designed as anything, and whatever rider has the biggest balls and is willing to take the most risk is going to win. And that's, I mean, look, I'm not like the biggest Marquez fan there ever was, but dude has the biggest balls and takes the most risks. So, and here's again, to Everett's point, who has huge balls and takes a lot of risks? My man, Andre Iannone. Big ass balls. Big ass for a reason. Infected, disease-spreading balls.
He almost exploded. He almost exploded before the race or something.
What?
That was
that was the line of the thing. That was the headline. That was like the most. I think on the BrotoGP Army group they posted that like it was ready to explode before this race. Like this unfortunate title is unfortunate. You know what I mean?
All right, well let's I think they're back Suzuki here.
His job is on the line, and not only is his job on the line, his future as a factory rider is on the line. I mean, look, he's not going to KTM. He's not going to Ducati. I don't think there's no way to take him back. I did see someone on Twitter said at one point, just fucking put him at Honda. Why not? Like you have Marquez, stick the nuttiest dude on the grid out of the other nuttiest dude on the grid on that bike and see what happens. That would be so fucking dope. But I mean, the reality is all he has to he needs to get results in the next 5 races. And you know, nothing motivates you more than needing a fucking job, needing to get paid. I mean, you know, he's like an NBA player. You know, we make a lot, but we spend a lot.
Yeah, I think he only has 3. Like I kind of remember Davide Brivio saying that they're going to start really talking about contracts like come Mugello. And that's
the only thing
that's normal. Yeah,
it makes me think about Iannone and my almost desire for him not to stay. And I was having some conversation about this is. With Marc VDS moving to Suzuki next year, we realized everyone that was a big mistake to sign 2 new riders to the team, right? They're not going to do that again. So Marc VDS, they're keeping Morbidelli, obviously, because he's on a multi-year contract. Luffy's not. But who is the other rider that's going to be up for contract who's ridden Suzuki who keeps consistency? And that's Iannone or Rins. And if Iannone goes to Marc VDS because he is he's ridden Suzuki, so that's consistency, and then Morbidelli's that's been on the same team for a year, that's consistency. That's the swaggiest team ever, son. Swag. If Iannone and Morbidelli roll into a room at any given time, everyone is pregnant. Even the dudes. Slaying pussy, slaying booty, I mean, doesn't even matter. Just Jerry curls and mustaches and fucking booty juice everywhere.
Booty juice. Booty rocking everywhere.
Right. You're describing it. I'm kind of starting to sweat over here. That's a bit much.
Right. You're fucking Rob's ovaries are fucking burning, guys. Rob's ovaries are burning.
I think you're right though.
Yeah,
man.
actually, so let's round out Suzuki with that, right? Marc VDS it's not confirmed yet. It's just very, very strong rumor that Marc VDS is moving to a satellite Suzuki team. That correct me if I'm wrong there.
It's not like written, like they haven't formally announced it, but basically every single magazine outlet, news outlet said it's a done deal. They're just waiting for the right announcement play. Like they always wait to a certain track or a certain event to announce it. It's all but done, and that they're going to have current year spec bikes. That Suzuki is just going to continue so they're going to get the same bike for the team. So they're going to have basically 2019 spec bikes, kind of like the same thing that Petrucci has going on right now. that they'll have current year bikes, just not with the newest parts, but they'll be 2 or 3 races behind getting the new parts. So unlike a Tech 3 style system where they have the previous year bike, it'll be more like Petrucci or Cal, where current year bike, maybe they test new parts for the factory to see if they work, or after the parts that do work, they get trickled down a couple events later.
I think I'd want to be on that. Like as long as the technicians and the electronics technicians are good and your bike's solid, because you almost don't want to be constantly testing the new parts. I feel like, I don't know, Rob.
Well, but that's the thing, right? Mark VDS is not actually known for having the technical prowess of a better factory team or even from the better satellite teams, right? So it's still a risk going to Mark VDS because they haven't shown that they can get shit done. But like right now they're 3rd tier. Right, at Honda. So being 2nd tier with factory support from Suzuki will raise their level significantly. That's probably, I mean, Morbidelli has to be like, he's got to be stoked on this.
Rob, we call this
46 as a whole too.
Rob, we call this an upgrade.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, and I mean, I totally agree, Kev. I shouldn't, but yeah, Iannone going to that team would be a very good look for Suzuki as a whole. It would really round out everyone. As long as they get Jorge.
Kev didn't get my reference.
I didn't even hear it. Did you make a reference?
Upgrade.
Upgrade, which he spelled with an extra D for a double dose of his pimping.
He does know it.
Yeah.
That's one of my top 5s. Anyway.
I love that movie.
I
hate that movie every time I watch it.
It's so good. Exactly. It's so good. It's so real. That's the best part.
The love of a pimp and his hoe is just kind of...
All right, we should move on past this shit.
Yeah, so okay, the next
that was a mosquito I just caught.
Get it?
Good. We already talked about Marquez a bit, but let's round him out and bring up everything. So penalty number 4 finally went down.
Dude, so cool.
Great. So
this was great because the outcry of the butthurt Marquez fans was a fucking amazing. Like all over Twitter, and it was just like literally they're gonna say, what is he gonna get a penalty if he takes his, if he fucking breaks too late into pit lane, he's gonna get a penalty if he farts, is he this and that. It was like the most butthurt I've ever seen, fans of a rider for days. It was fucking hilarious. I'm like, bro, the reason he got a penalty that is borderline, like, shouldn't have gotten a penalty is because he has no benefit of the doubt anymore. The guy spent his entire fucking career in life getting the benefit of the doubt, despite the fact that he's nearly killed a corner worker, despite the fact that he nearly ended a dude's career in Moto 2, despite the fact that he's knocked more fucking dudes off. I mean, the amount of times he's crashed into guys, knocked guys off, bumped into them. He's been given the benefit of the doubt his whole career. And finally, he's not. I mean, we can only cry wolf so many times, and now he's not. So what was seemingly, not a big deal, he was just on the race line a little slow. Normally, any other rider, you'd say, oh, yeah, he fucked up, but not Marquez. You were trying to fuck someone up because that's what you spent your whole career doing.
It was pretty bad.
Well, but so 2 things there, right? One, there were effectively no consequences to this. Right? This is not shades of 2015 where he got a penalty point and then later on in the season had to start at the back of the grid. No, hold on. I gotta finish the other one. I gotta finish the other point too. So one, that's a small thing that's a very big thing that we'll talk about. The second point is that Pol Espargaro also got the same exact penalty for blocking Tom Luthi during qualifying, during Q1. So this is, I agree, like, that Marquez isn't getting the benefit of the doubt, but he's just brought this on to the entire paddock because of his antics at Argentina and because of all the other shit he's done. Like, to be honest, if they wanted to pull the whole no benefit of the doubt and just penalize him, like, you'd expect race direction to slowly increase the severity of the penalties until the guy stops doing the shit. But no, he's hit people in practice. He's taken people out on the cooldown lap. Like, he's done everything that Kev already said. And they're kind of just blending him in with everyone else. And it's just shades of the fucking, I mean, I shouldn't say it. It's shades of the Spanish favoritism going on.
Spanish imperialism.
All right, Ed, what were you going to say about the first point?
I mean, it wasn't physical, but it was clearly a mistake. I mean, I think he actually felt bad after when he realized he did fuck him up. I mean, I just think it was very, very blatant, and I think it was very appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad when I get drunk and hit pedestrians too, but I still face consequences. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
no, I think he should have gotten when I was watching qualifying, I was like, he should get a penalty immediately. Like, it's not even up for debate. Just fucking call it out. 3-place penalty, 3-second penalty, whatever you want to give him.
And the worst part was his like, I didn't think I did anything wrong, blah, blah, blah. That's the worst response you could have, because I didn't think I did anything wrong proves you're not paying attention. Well, if he's just said, oh shit, my bad, I fucked up, and just said that, didn't say anything else, I fucked up, I'll try harder next time. That's ignorance is bliss kind of thing. But he said he didn't think anybody was on a flying lap yet or something stupid. I forget what the quote was, but I completely wanted to penalize him instantly when I saw it. Like, and the penalty was sort of the right penalty in the sense that the guy he messed up was, thusly bumped up to pole. That was a pole lap, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was a pole lap, and the response was right. I mean, here's my problem, is that the guy doesn't have the benefit of the doubt in my mind, so I no longer believe when he says, I didn't think anyone was this, I think it was that, because why would I? We've believed you for 6-7 years, and you've not changed anything. And the problem that bugged me the most is when I was seeing all these comments, I'll get to you, Evan, in a second, when I was seeing all these comments about, like, oh, now the marketing department is running the show and they're trying to manufacture drama and this, that. No, it's the other way around. The reason he never got any penalties was because the marketing department, because he was the golden boy who never stopped smiling. He was the imp. He was the rookie who won the title, and then he was the guy who broke the record for most wins. He was the Spanish, hero on Honda, sponsored by Repsol. He got away with everything his whole career because of the marketing department. He is but the reason they're booing is because it's so transparently manufactured that people can't take it anymore. And finally they're recognizing it. So for me, you get a penalty because everyone's fucking sick of your shit, and they're sick of the system literally keeping you, trying to force you to be the star and give you the benefit out every single time. Yes, they were trying to manufacture another Rossi for ages. And then it backfired, and it's still backfiring is the problem. And now they're trying to figure out how to correct it. His mentality is that I'm fucking the new Rossi, and I can get away with everything. Because Rossi does get away with all sorts of fucking bullshit. And Marquez had been until about now. And now you're starting to see this. I mean, I think it should have been, I don't know if it should have been more. I mean, let me, before I forget, what I was going to ask you is, do you think he did it on purpose? Was there intent? I don't think so. Okay, and I agree with you, but that's what makes it worse. This guy is still so oblivious to the consequences of his actions, and that's the problem. If he did it on purpose, I'd almost give him sweet man, he's villain. He's trying to game the system. He's trying to fuck with everyone. That's gamesmanship. That's fucking playing the angles. You're not cheating. You're not trying unless you're cheating, that kind of stuff. Right. I would support that. I'd be like, oh, I wish Jorge would do that. Right? But that's just you'd actually respect it instead of just being oblivious. Right. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Yeah. Right? Literally. Right? So the extra fucking M is for a double dose of his pimping. You know what I mean? To go back to M. But that he's oblivious shows that this guy has been raised in a consequence-free environment his entire career, and he does not understand the privilege he's been given for this long. He doesn't get it. He doesn't even recognize that it exists. That bothers me more that he doesn't get it than if he were be like, hey man, guy was going to beat my lap. I was doing what I could. Fuck it. If he's going to beat my lap anyway, at least I try to fuck him up and maybe not get a penalty. Because look, in basketball, that would be true, if you think a dude is going to dunk straight in your face with 20 seconds to go, you fucking check him hard and hope he misses his free throw. Yeah.
Honestly, Kev, I think it's. I'm gonna come at this from a slightly different angle. I think that Marquez.
We disagree already.
I think that he's. Yeah, I'm wearing. No. I mean, that's just my. Yeah, show me that thigh.
Holy.
It's fucking skinny legs.
Look at them racer legs.
Sorry, everyone on iTunes. You can't see my sexy hairy thighs. My cycling tan. No, I think that Marquez, I think he is so good that his brain just when shit like this happens, like when something goes wrong, his brain just convinces itself that it wasn't his fault because he's so good. Like
pathological.
It's just yeah, I think it's just a pathological inability to see that he made the mistake, right? Even in all the interviews that we saw before the round, it really seemed like it was like, oh, I understand that you penalized me, but I didn't do anything wrong. Like, fuck you guys. Like, that's pretty much what all of them boiled down to. I think it's pathologically, he's fucking brilliant, and he can't see that he's doing something wrong.
You're telling me his cognitive dissonance is so strong that he just erases those moments from his memory?
No. Exactly. He forgets about them.
You're making me think. He's like, it was my hot lap. What was he doing out there, right?
Yeah, right.
And the thing is if he owned that and just said that, if he was like, I do fucking shit wrong, these guys are crazy. What are they fucking talking about? If he just owned it and came at him hot, it'd be sweet. But he tries to still play the fake manufactured good guy. Okay. Like, he's like, I don't know if you guys watch UFC, but like John Jones was the fakest like guy ever, right? He was hitting pregnant chicks in his car, snorting coke like crazy, cheating on his wife, doing hemorrhoids, all this stuff. But every time you saw him on camera, he was like, Mr. I've got Jesus tattooed on my chest. I love the Lord. Everything's perfect. I'm such a good guy. I'm so humble. Like, just ask me how humble I am. Like, if Marquez just owned it and he's like, what the fuck? I do shit wrong. Fuck Dorna. You know what I mean? Like, if he just...
So are you saying Marquez should embrace the villain role to some degree?
Because he's...
Yes, of course.
Boy,
stop trying to make Marquez happen, Matt Oxley. Marquez is not going to happen. No. He might be the best rider on the grid, but I don't care what you say. Fucking people hate him.
He doesn't have the natural...
like him.
Yeah, he doesn't have the natural charisma of the Rossis or the Simoncellis or just the natural swagger. He's trying to manufacture swagger.
If you're a hardcore Spanish fan, there's lots of other guys you can root for. I'm not anti-Spaniard. I fucking love Danny. I know Everett doesn't, but I'm a big fan of Danny. I like Maverick too. I was huge on Maverick for a long time. Like, there's other Spanish
guys. There's no
guys
charisma in either of them either, though. They're fucking so boring.
Danny's got like quiet charisma. It's different. Danny's dry, but I like Danny.
Yeah, but Morbidelli and Petrucci are a little dry too, and everyone fucking thinks they have charisma.
They're Italian.
They're
fucking wacky Italians.
Yeah, that's
different, man. Different. I don't know.
No, anyway, regarding the penalty, I think he deserved it, and I think his obliviousness to it only proves to me that he deserves it. Because his lesson the lesson he's supposed to learn is, bro, you can't be oblivious to the rest of the track and what's going on, and your actions have consequences. If he knew his actions had consequences and gambled, I would be like, okay, cool, I can get that. But that he didn't even understand what he did wrong is the problem. That's the problem.
Well, the only thing that you're really making a suggestion for is fixing the afterthought, right? He's gonna get the penalty no matter what. If he at least owns up to it, people will like him more. Like, that's the only thing that BrotoGP here has any input on.
Like me.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, I make a lot of Marvel comments, right? Like, you can be the villain and come around the fucking backside and become who is one of the most famous or one of the most well-liked characters in the Marvel universe? Motherfucking Loki.
Yep.
Loki tried to kill the whole planet.
Apparently my doppelganger.
Right, he worked for Thanos, all this stuff, but if you saw Thor Ragnarok and he was the only good part of Thor the Dark World of that terrible movie, and in Thor Ragnarok, he was awesome. Everyone loves it. It's like Matt Mladen. Everyone booed him. They hated him. My man Everett remembers. No one liked Mladen. And then slowly but surely, he became like, everyone liked him, and then
so passive aggressive.
He was so passive aggressive, and then he never tweeted anything. And then one time he tweeted that Race Direction came to his trailer like at 2 a.m, and he opened the door with a boner.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, of course I opened the door with a boner. Why are they fucking knocking on my door?
Yeah,
busy.
And then he became, and when the DMG era happened, he actually stood up. Remember, he got attacked by them. They tore his motor down, but not Ben Spies, because they tried to make Ben Spies be this manufactured hero for the Americans, and they didn't like Mladen because he was this Australian dominant guy. And suddenly Mladen became the anti-hero when you liked him again. The real key to Marquez being popular is embracing who he actually is and then being him to such a T that you have to respect it.
Wait, you're telling Marquez to be more
instead of saying, well, I wanted to avoid controversy and so I just tried to run away at the front. Sometimes it's easier to follow and then pass, but I have to do it the other way to avoid. What if he just said, fuck these assholes. I've been trying to have fun this whole time. Y'all hate it. Fuck you. I'm going to ruin the show on purpose.
All right, yeah. Kev, let's go. Let's try and go back. I know that you're good on the GP history. Has there ever been a time where Honda has allowed a villain in their factory team? Like,
bro,
Rainey,
they signed
Duhan,
Biaggi for 2005.
Who? Oh, Max Biaggi, yeah.
They signed Biaggi.
Well, that's because Rossi left, and they were like, well, fine, we're taking his fucking enemy, his nemesis.
Yeah, right. But I feel like even in 2005, didn't they like water him down and get him to really kind of not take that? Yeah. So let's. Is there a single rider where they fostered the villain, where they were like they saw that and they developed it and made it peak villain? Because I don't think HRC allows it.
Was Duhan sort of a villain at the time? It's before my time.
It's not that. Duhan wasn't the villain. Duhan was in a weird area where World Superbike and GP were purely equal. In many cases, people like World Superbike more. So you had Fogarty riding the Ducati and being this kind of really ordinary, UK guy, and then you had Duhan. It wasn't really there wasn't really that storyline-esque happening because it was almost like the two most popular, most famous guys were in different series. Yep. To answer Rob's question, no, they haven't, because Repsol Honda they don't really let you be who you want to be. That was Valentino's biggest gripe, that they weren't letting him be who he wanted to be. They want to take all the credit for the wins, and they don't want to give the rider credit, but they want the rider to do all this canned PR, not let themselves be who they want to be. So it's not that Honda never had a villain, it's that they've been the villain themselves.
Well, yeah, they were always engineering
being the villain themselves. They try to manufacture riders to make them not be the villain.
We joke about the T-1000 stuff, right? The Terminator. You're not supposed to have the personality. You're supposed to be part of an engineering team, and they're about engineering and peak engineering and the pinnacle of engineering. You're more the facilitator of the engineering versus a personality.
Right, exactly. So Honda doesn't want you to be that, and then Dorna basically literally gave Marc Marquez and again, I'm not trying to detract from Marc's talent. Marc is it drives me nuts. We did a whole episode on that where I was like, I fucking hate it because of that. I get it. He's the man. But you can't make people like him by manufacturing who he is into us. It's like Everett said, they're trying to make another Rossi, but Valentino's rise was organic, and it was organic and perfectly timed. He came about when Duhan was gone. There was no story. You had this page-haired kid who was doing all these crazy after-the-race stunts. Right. And that was in a weird time where excess and stupidity was popular. And we're talking about 1999, man. Limp Bizkit had a fucking platinum album that year. The world was into some weird shit.
And we enjoyed it.
We enjoyed it, right?
I'm not so sure about Limp Bizkit.
If anyone did what Valentino did in 2001 and 2 and 3, like with those post-race celebrations, we would all say how stupid it was. But at the time, it was funny. And right when they made the switch to 4-strokes and GP got huge, and look in America, everyone had a CBR 600, the F4i, son. Yeah. If you didn't have an F4i, you wasn't shit.
Fucking noobs.
And that's what they're all fucking skin bikes these days. Yeah, I mean, no, all right, let's finish up here. I'm sad that I feel like HRC will never let Marquez properly take the villain role, because unless he crashes his brains out, he has plenty of career left.
I thought you were going to say never let him leave to another factory, and I was going to say, they're not.
That goes to my point, Ev. They won't let him be the villain, but he can't ever be the hero because he doesn't leave. If Marc Marquez left and went to Suzuki tomorrow, I would cheer the fuck out of him. Holy shit, would I cheer for him to win on Suzuki, because I want to see Suzuki win. And the story of the retribution of Suzuki, the story of him leaving Honda is fucking great. Like, the problem is Marquez is so good. Good that in 3 years, he burned up every possible story he could do, and we've seen it all. He won as a rookie. He broke the record for the most races, and then after losing the title, he came back and won it again. There's nothing left for us to see when it comes, or us to think about, see, and ponder when it comes to Marquez, except for who's going to beat him.
No, it's breaking Rossi's records, which he could do if he stays in Honda Repsol and stays healthy, but that's not exciting. No one fucking cares.
That's 5 years.
The two manufacturer title is the biggest milestone to show that I'm adaptable. Yep. That's the problem. Yeah.
Right. Duhan never did it. To Stoner's credit, being the moaner that he was, not always most popular, but when you look back at Casey now, he did it. He won on 2 different manufacturers, and he won dominantly on both.
Yep. It's street cred. Pure
street cred. Just like when you had an RC501 and you had the most street cred out there. That was my bike had the cred.
That was my second bike. Crashed on my first track.
And now people still want them, even though they weigh 500 pounds and they're not good street bikes.
Side-mounted radiators, son. What you gonna do with your side-mounted radiators?
Oh, sidebar. They're amazing.
I don't need to ride one. I've seen that. Maybe it's a street bike, but I would never ride one on the track.
It's unbelievable how good they are.
It's pretty easy to balance just 500 pounds. It just does what it wants to do, as opposed to what you want to do.
Point and shoot.
No, let's round Honda out.
I have a point about Ducati to round it out.
All right,
to round it out, which was he won the race. It was dominant. It was boring. It was as uninteresting as possible. And then he went on to say he basically did that on purpose. And now all the talk is he going to run away with every race at all year? Now is this year going to be completely boring because of that? I don't buy it for a second.
No, look at last year. It was the same thing, running up.
Yep.
Yeah. And he's won 6 years in a row.
Yeah, we can't believe him.
You can't trust.
No way.
Trust that fucker. Nah, he's not going to run away with shit, dude. It's a long season.
All right. Well, so our next topic is supposed to be the Cota surface.
Real quick, he's also not leaving the championship, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, right? Okay, yeah,
actually,
there's my segue to Ducati.
Rob, you're going to get mad at me for a second because I'm going to break into your syllabus. This is my syllabus. But I got some shit to say.
Syllabus buster.
And this isn't about Marc Marquez, okay? Marc Marquez is an oblivious rich cunt, but you know what? We all wish we were oblivious rich cunts who could ride bikes super fast. So I'm not hating on that. But the one thing I'm fucking hating on when it comes to all this manufacturer talk that we're talking about and all of this bullshit Honda is I'm so fucking pissed. The cynic in me is so fucking frustrated. They couldn't miss an opportunity to show you Marquez on the grid and then show you Hayden flag on the grid. They couldn't miss an opportunity to show you Marquez and then show you Hayden Hill. They stuck. No one wanted to fucking touch Marquez's fucking merchandising booth. No Americans would be caught fucking dead in a 93 hat or in So what do? They use Marc Marquez's booth to sell you the Simoncelli and the Hayden fucking gear. They are literally using, look at Rob putting his head down. I don't give a fuck. They are literally using
he's right.
of 2 of the most beloved racers of the past 2 decades to try to fucking manufacture us to like this guy. This is I am so fucking annoyed with this shit and what they do. And again, not hating on Marc. I'm sure Marc loved Nicky like everyone else. There's pictures of him being like, who knows, 2 years old with Nicky and he loved him. But this was the most contrived, manufactured bullshit ever. Fucking Marc Marquez is running around with the flag. Every single image is Marc Marquez fading out and then a Nicky sign and then fading out to MotoGP. They juxtapose this dude to Nicky Hayden memorabilia and Simoncelli memorabilia every single time they got because they're trying to force this guy down their throats. And don't think I'm the only one that didn't see it. I had messages galore from fucking Americans like crazy who saw this shit and were disgusted. This did nothing but turn us off. You know who should have been carrying that flag around? Yeah, exactly. You know who should have been carrying that flag around the whole time? Danny Pedrosa, because Danny gutted it out like a motherfucker, like Hayden would have respected, like Nicky would have done, and he has history with Nicky going all the way back. You know what? When fucking,
Teammates.
what was the most moving thing that happened when Simoncelli passed? Was when Dovizioso had that tattoo thrown on. You know why? Because Dovi and Simoncelli had a bit of a checkered past. They didn't like each other that much. They had some issues in the media. Dovi complained about why is Simoncelli getting so much run? I actually have way better results, all this stuff. But when push came to shove, it was Dovi who first showed the shit the most. And it's Pedrosa who has the most fucking history with him. It's Valentino who has the most history with him, being his teammate on multiple teams. And yet they're doing every single thing they can to show you fucking Mark, to show you hating the same thing so you don't boo him. Now, you know, luckily they booed the fucking shit out of him. And again, not hating on Mark because he's probably, if he's as oblivious he is on the track, he's as oblivious as to the marketing machine that's pushing him quietly behind him. But I was fucking heated with all of this stuff. It was the most contrived and obvious manufactured thing to stemmy the booze because everyone knew. When that shit Argentina happened and they're like, the next race is America, I was tweeting like, y'all who don't like the booze better get fucking ready. Because booing is an American pastime, son. That's how we do in sports. I don't care. Like, maybe it's a Euro thing where everything's a gentlemanly sport and they don't boo anyone. But in the UFC, when you get knocked the fuck out, they cheer for you. In boxing, when you get knocked the fuck out, they cheer the fact that you got knocked out. Our national sport is a sport where dudes fucking smash into each other and simulate war for fucking fun, okay? And we cheer that shit. So we were certainly as hell going to cheer. Oh,
Marco
damn it.
Marco Melandri.
God damn it.
I'm cutting you off.
There it is.
No, I mean, Kev, the reason why I facepalmed that rant was not because of the content, was pretty much because I thought the same thing when I saw the booth of Marquez and Nicky and Simoncelli. I mean, they obviously all rode for Honda, but like fucking Ducati like rolled out Nicky's bike and kept it in front of hospitality. And you know, that's a sign of respect there. Like they weren't selling t-shirts off of it, you know. They were just showing the American fans exactly something that they wanted to see, something that they wanted to remember, something positive about Nicky in the title. Right? Selling shirts with the Honda and Repsol and whatnot and 69 on them, not so much. Like we're not that stupid in America. Come on.
Well, wait a second. Doesn't Valentino Rossi's company actually supply and run all the booths?
No, not Marquez's. Remember a few years ago, Marquez ended his contract.
Real talk. It was Texas. Ooh. It was in the South, and it was America.
Yeah.
Nicky should have had his own booth.
It was poor taste. I mean, let's just be real. It's just classless. Yeah. And I get the balance of it's the only American track. They want to respect him, but to your point, they always did it right after Marquez and tried to tie him and, you know, connect the two. And it just was just kind of like, weak, dude. Do a tribute, do your thing.
Yeah, when Chaz pulled out the flag last year at Laguna, it wasn't manufactured. Like he literally, it was some random dude's flag in the stands that he pointed to and got him to run it down to the track. Like the guy took forever getting down there. It was obvious it wasn't planned or anything. And everyone lost their shit. It was an amazing tribute to Nicky. And then this was the guy was already waiting on the side of the track, like off in the S's, you know, turn 3, 4, 5 or whatever. And he picked up the flag. He did his lap. Like it fit in with the fucking Dornegorgen and them taking over. It
was totally in the moment. Marquez was completely planned. They knew he'd get a 6 win. They had a fucking flag made with the 69. They knew what they were doing. They're trying to do it. He's trying to create that audience and that hero, you know, hey, I'm the good guy, like me, America like me. It's like, dude, it's just you're trying too fucking hard. So, yeah.
All right, let's move this one on here. Kev has got his...
What's the word for I'm allowed to talk again?
Go. Sasquatch.
What's Marco Melandri's wife's name? Lauren?
Melania?
No. No, Kev got if you're on YouTube, the hands up means Kev, like let someone else talk. And then Marco Melandri is the straight cut off
solid T.
Well, yeah, I mean, I shouldn't have told everyone because now it can't be like secret or anything.
Told everyone last episode.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow, are you guys getting along? Is there something I need to know? Are you guys dysfunctional?
Kev got super heated on that one.
He's right. I mean, to some degree,
he was gonna keep
from an
going.
American perspective.
I won't rant about it, but it bothered me because it felt really manufactured. And look, I mean, it did feel, it lacked like any sense of being genuine to a point where I was really like, and I tried to say in my little, like, you know, freaking out, I'm not hating on Mark on this. This is not a Marquez thing. It's a Dorna, it's a Repsol, it's a marketing, it's a feed thing. It reeked so much. It lacked any sense of being genuine to a point where it was off-putting. It was really, really, really off-putting. Like real Kev. I was off-put by it.
I mean, I think as, you know, fanatics that we are, like, we're going to be more skeptical and we're going to have higher standards for all of that stuff. I'm sure there are plenty of fans out there that appreciated the extra covers that Dorna was providing and the feed we're providing for 100%. The Nicky memorabilia. Yeah, and I mean, honestly, to all those people, we don't mean to detract from your experience of that. This is just how we feel about the whole situation. And we want this series, we want everyone that loved Nicky as much as we do to be, and probably more actually, to be as genuine as possible. And yeah, I mean, we're skeptical. We talk shit. That's what we do. So we found a way in this one, and shit, I feel bad about that now. No, I'm moving it on though. So Kev and Ev, let's build the energy back up. So let's get Ducati going in this one. The first thing that I want to talk about with Ducati, and you're probably someone will fall asleep on it, is I think Ducati struggles with Cota specifically because of the surface and because of the bumps, right? The Ducati motorcycle, they focus so much on drive and on hard braking to make the lap time that I think they've got a really stiff chassis that can't deal with mid-corner bumps, right? Like we know that a lot of grip is created in MotoGP bikes from the frame flexing, right? And because when you're leaned over at 60 degrees lean angle, the suspension doesn't actually really work that well. So you got to have the chassis flex. I think that's one reason why the Suzuki did reasonably well around here, because they focused on that. The Yamaha, even though it's not really a Yamaha track, Mav was fighting for the win last year until he crashed out. They had 2 riders in the top 4 this year. Right, like I think Ducati this is now an anti-Ducati track, even with that long straightaway.
Yes, I would agree, and it's because of the 4 different types of varieties that the track offers. They don't do the change of direction well. That's a problem.
Not with the winglets that seem to be required to get the thing to turn.
They don't. I don't know. We could probably debate this a little bit. I feel like they don't do the 90-degree hard braking turns well. They do the back straight well, but they have to slow down so hard to get back up off the corner that even that long straight, as much as it should help, doesn't, because it goes to another 90-degree turn where they then have to point and shoot out. And then they do okay on the final little flowy kind of high-speed sweepers, but that's really the only piece where I'll bet they're fast. Other than that, they are at a disadvantage in every other part.
Yeah, I mean, the whole track really came together to kind of screwing Ducati over. And I mean, like, even so we talked about this a tiny bit before, right? The track was super dusty because the track itself, they literally brought in industrial equipment, is the words that the announcers kept using, to smooth out the bumps. And I think that means that they fucking just ground the asphalt down. Whether or not that actually, and it didn't really seem to work, because the bikes were still jumping over bumps down the straightaway.
That's not how you can fix bumps, dude. That's just how it works. You got to
there was a massive bump pretty much at the apex of every single corner. Like the worst one I think was turn 10, where just a super fast downhill. What hand signals are you making over here?
If the bumps go like this and you cut straight across the top, you're still gonna get bumps. It's like you can't just shave them down a little bit.
Yeah, but the thing with bumps though, right? Like if you're driving a vehicle over bumps and you're trying to grind the surface away, like the vehicle is just going up and down too. So it's not like you can actually take the bumps out.
No, they're trying to do it at the top. peaks. All they did was reduce them a little bit, but the point is
I don't
still
even
the
think they reduced
undulations.
them. It seemed like they added some. Like a bunch of the
You're
riders were
probably right.
complaining that it was just worse.
The best
right?
irony is that they just made the track
one thing
so
that came
fucking
up
dusty.
when it comes to am I allowed to talk now?
Yes.
Lauren?
Do it, Kev. You're always allowed to talk now. Come on, get in there. The
I'll
Marco
put
baby in the
Melandri
corner.
is just like
You
a
put
pause.
baby in the corner.
I'm just talking with you, Rob. I'm just talking with you. One thing that comes up, I think that didn't come up is Texas. For you guys who don't know, global warming exists, and it's actually happening.
No.
Climate change. Climate change.
Right. But yeah, climate change. But one of the things is Texas has been, in the last number of years, absolutely inundated with floods, what they refer to as a 1 in 1,000 year flood, a 1 in 100 year flood. Literally that area of Texas, like my man Panigale John, the guy who actually won the helmet that we gave away, his whole garage was underwater, including both his Ducatis. Absolutely ruined, underwater up to the handlebars. Texas has received biblical flooding in the last couple of years, and the ground is so soft and shifted so much that I can't even blame Cota. It's not the cars as much as they want to say. It is literally what we're seeing is the end result of rains on the level that like they haven't seen in Texas in 200 years.
Yeah, well,
and
that's normal at all tracks. Just so you know, the rain creates the underflow that erodes the ground underneath the pavement.
That happened
but not
Texas
like that.
Flooding
Not
the last
that
couple of years is normal. That's not the problem.
Not that fast.
Right. So they brought this industrial equipment in. They're going to grind it down. They're going to do some stuff that, like Everett and Rob pointed out, kind of almost jokingly doesn't make sense because they have to do something. Because they can't
bring tanks over it to.
They can't change the fact that the ground is effectively different.
It's eroding. The ground underneath it is
like
settling.
Other tracks deal with this, but they're able to kind of plan ahead, right? Like Spa-Francorchamps, right? It fucking rains a shit ton in Belgium. It rains a shit ton around other racetracks. Sepang definitely gets more rain and has softer ground than Texas and Cota. But they build their tracks to handle it, right? They know ahead of time, so they make the asphalt 3 times as thick. They lay, the whole track is stronger. I mean, we know that about the freaking German Autobahn, that the reason why you can drive an unlimited speed on the Autobahn is because their freeways are kept nicer and they're thicker and they're flatter, right? In Texas, especially in America, I gotta wonder, like, did they build the track on the cheap? Like, did they cut corners maybe a little bit? Like,
they did not build that track on the cheap. I can promise you that. They got fucking taxpayer funding for it.
The cheap is different from building it cheap. Okay, because you can get funded with $500 million and not spend on the cheap, but still build something cheap. I'm not necessarily right. You line the pockets of it. What I'm saying is, whether they did it cheap or not, the level of rains that we received in the last 4 years in Texas were not expected under the vast majority of probably future planning and environmental impact reports they had done when they built this track. Whereas Sepang, like Rob said, they are predicting. What are you laughing at?
Because it's Texas and their environmental reports would probably not include climate change.
Don't kill the geckos.
Oh wait, no, I'm breaking a cardinal rule of BrotoGP. I'm sorry. That's my fault.
No, I think if anything, they did all the things they were supposed to. There's certain things you can't plan for. You put a site there, you do all your environmental studies and your soil samples and the settling and all that shit, and it just. We see this with a lot of tracks, even the club tracks Rob and I have gone to. I mean, you eventually have to make those corrections because the ground settles in. The cars don't help in the hard-braking spots, but they don't go there enough. Well, I don't know how many track days they do. I don't think they do a lot.
They exacerbate the problem, but they're not the source.
Yeah, they don't do enough track days because it's so expensive.
Formula One doesn't run there throughout the season. They're there for one.
No, it's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, they do track days.
They don't help, and I don't even know if the American Le Mans Series gets to go there. Like any other, that's the only other really high downforce cars. I'm pretty sure IndyCar doesn't go there. But yeah, let's get this back to motorcycle racing. I guess we kind of got off there. I mean, okay, last point to round this one out though. Is Cota going to resurface the track for next year? Predictions?
No.
Parts.
Parts? Really, you think they'll just cut into the straightaway and maybe turn 10 and kind of fix some of
No,
the
yeah, it
apex
was
bumps?
turn 10. You could see, dude. I thought those guys were gonna fucking. They
Iannone
really
had
had
that
to set the
moment during the
suspension up.
race.
Yeah,
Literally,
right?
he was like airborne, son. That was
shit
amazing.
Was nutty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It would-
10's getting fixed for sure. The back straight, no, because it's a back straight. You don't need to. They just need
I mean, it
to
might
clean
be.
it up. It's all dusty.
Unfortunately,
That'll
it
go
could
away.
be shades of Indy quite a few years ago, right? Like Indy repaved maybe a third of the track, and the riders
That's
pretty
what I
much
mean.
reported like it's now even more two different tracks because the grip level was so
Those two-
different between the
that's
old
the-
asphalt and the new asphalt, right?
American
Yeah, so
American cheapness coming to you next year.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I guess we got a
Watch.
year to find out.
Wanna
All right,
bet?
no, let's
I got a
move.
lot of Mobo dollars in the bank right now. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. All right,
Kev,
I'm gonna
you
say
keeping score, Kev. He's checking the scoreboard.
he's getting fucking bored
No,
of
I'm
all this
checking. I'm
track
checking our
talk.
syllabus.
That is so hurt that you fucking gave him a Marco Melandri, dude. He's
No,
like,
no,
he's
good. First of all, bro, I came up with Marco Melandri.
I
That was
know.
that was me, son.
You are
I
so
came up with the
hurt,
code word and why we need to have it. That was all my idea. Rob is the grand master. We all know this. He's the Carmelo of BrotoGP. Nothing happens without Rob's approval.
That's pretty much true. Oh
I'm
man.
looking for that
Oh
PC
no.
Racer
Let's
sign. That
let's
was
Because we
bring
want to
this
be real
back
for a
to
second. Rob, the grand master, he could mute me right now.
Grand
He
Wizard.
could freeze my screen and mute me.
I would try it, but I don't know if I could unmute you, so I don't.
Yeah,
break
don't.
your
We
shit.
haven't tried it live yet. Don't do it. Yeah, exactly.
Don't do it.
So despite the fact that, as Everett was saying, the Ducati didn't do very well at all because all these problems, yet who do we have leading the championship? After
By 1 point.
By what? By Uno.
1 point.
Moses.
We got 1 point.
Fucking Moses.
Ducati Moses. And we should dress up like him for Halloween. Think we could pay him? We should send him a kit that like is like Moses costume.
Bro, he just turned down Ducati's official offer. I'm not sure our PayPal account has enough to fucking pay Dovi to walk around like Moses.
Dude, he did.
What didn't Carl tell us like a sticker on his helmet is $10,000 or something, right?
Right.
Like, and that's Carl at that team. Dovizioso to wear a Moses costume? No, I don't. Yeah, we definitely don't have it.
We're not paying him. He's gonna do it because he wants to have fun with his life.
If we, we're moving on up with the fans, so and the teams and the other
Dude,
the other entities.
Are we
It may
really
happen.
getting are we really getting said celebrity guests? There's been some rumors.
There's been some rumors. Yes.
We're not going to talk about celebrity guests just yet. No, we'll
What?
get there towards the end. No, so Ducati is leading the championship,
Jeez.
or Dozis, Ducati Moses
Right.
leading the championship.
Dozis.
by 1
Out
point.
for Dovi.
That wasn't that good. Nice try. Dozes.
So despite the fact that he has another weekend to forget, following Argentina's weekend to forget,
Mhm.
somehow he's leading the championship. He lucks out. He has the ability to somehow get he salvages a result after a pretty abysmal weekend, and he's leading the title.
Dude, it's so early in the season. Nobody fucking cares about the first 3 or 4 rounds.
Unless
It's
you're
not
Cal
until
Crutchlow,
Mugello.
and then they will remind you on the feed every single fucking minute. They will
Mugello.
refer to him as championship leader Cal Crutchlow.
Oh god. They fucking hyped that up so
Dovi has far more points than he did last season at the end of this round.
Correct.
He is not-
Because he wasn't
he has
taken
far
out by
more
Alicia
points. Yes, he wasn't taken out. He won one of the races, and both of his other finishes were actually better. Or his finish here at Cota was better than last season. All right, last season he got 6th place. He was in 5th this round. So I mean, GG Eyebrows has specifically said that they're doing better than last year, that they feel they're more up to the challenge. So even though he's only leading by 1 point, and it was kind of dependent on Marquez scoring 0 points at Argentina, it's still a very good look for Ducati. They're coming to Europe. They may be further ahead than they may be closer to the level of everyone else compared to last season.
Right. I think they're definitely building on it, and I think they look good. I mean, like you said, they're already ahead of where they were last year. And look, everyone, because racing is so, what have you done for me lately? Marquez goes and wins dominantly, and now everyone acts like Marquez is going to run away with it. But again, he wins dominantly at Cota every year, and then go look at his results. Pull it up, Rob. I don't even know if you can put it on screen or not, but he last year and the year before, he doesn't win shit until Germany. and he wins every time at Germany. So so traditionally he goes 5 races afterwards. Like him winning dominantly at Cota is nothing new, but Ducati being where they're at right now is something new. Can Dovi beat Marquez for a title? I mean, I did say I thought Marquez was going to walk away with this one because the bike seems to be better than normal. But
last year,
Marquez is going to Marquez. And what I mean by that is he's going to knock guys off and get penalties.
You got to take the inverse of last year. Marquez last year was not doing this well. We were a little skeptical, right? There was a little bit of debate on would he pull it out. And obviously, I always argue that HRC through the year only gets stronger, like the T-1000. Right. The pieces come back together. And at this point, Marquez wasn't as strong looking, and he's already there, and that's a problem. So, although Ducati's
results on paper, though, his results are not significantly better than last year, right? He did the same thing, a 0 at Argentina. Instead of 4th at Qatar, he got 2nd, right? And then he won Cota, right? It's a lot of people are comparing to last season, and they're thinking, that this is going to be shades of the previous year or whatever.
That's misleading when you look at points versus reality. That DNF wasn't really a DNF.
Wait. Points versus reality? Points versus reality? Seriously?
He didn't. Two things. One, he didn't DNF. He finished the race and then was docked a penalty that got him no points.
Semantics.
What Ev is saying is that, yes, he got 0 points at Argentina, but he was a second faster than everyone a lap at Argentina, and then he backed that up by repeating that at Cota. I actually, to an extent, agree with Ev. Like I said at the beginning of the season, I think that this is going to be a Marquez. He wins more than his normal 5 races, 6 races a year. He's probably going to win 8 or 9 because of how strong the Honda looks. But the key problem is, he was a second faster than everyone in Argentina, and he still threw it away.
And ironically, it's less about him and it's more about what everyone else hasn't done. Like, I feel like Honda just did the natural progression. They usually come in, they start out kind of slow, and then they figure something out, and then they ramp up. Instead, this year, it's almost like everyone else didn't fucking develop, and they came really slow into the year, and Honda just started out ahead. And so instead of them being a lag, they usually lag behind in the first 2 or 3 races. They just they go on a different development path, and they kind of course correct, and then they finally make their way. But Yamaha, I mean, they look marginally better than last year, I guess, but not overall. It's kind of weird. It's a weird thing with the balance of equality across the machines.
Well, you're comparing to Yamaha, and they're definitely in a slump at the moment. But if you compare to Ducati, both Ducati and Honda have raised the level, and I think that's one of the main reasons why Yamaha is looking so shitty. I just said how Dovi has more points than the previous season, the start of the year. Ducati looks better than they did last year. They produced a better motorcycle. Everyone agrees.
Close.
You mean because Tito Rabat's doing better than last year?
What's close to a Rob rant?
First ever, a milestone.
No, it's happened. It's happened once before. It happened once before. No, okay.
There's no way they're better this year.
We're switching topics. I don't think I'm never going to convince Ev on this one. So let's switch topics and give him more fuel for the fire about Jorge losing to satellite Ducatis.
Oh,
good look for Jorge.
As bad of a look as you could get, because in the end of Jorge's race, all this shit happens. We hear all last year about how he's going to turn the corner. He's ready to turn the corner. This dude lost Tito Rabat, Jack Miller, and Pedrosa with a fucked up wrist. And it turns out that Miller has a fucked up collarbone. I don't know if you read his blog post that he leaves. This guy can't beat, and this guy can't beat second and third satellite guys that are injured.
He's got that dad bod too.
He just he was in. I mean, here's the thing: people were sending me messages from the Ducati meet and greet the night before Cota started. Like I said, my man John actually got that Dovi helmet signed, and everyone cheered when it happened. It's a pretty cool video. A lot of our fans went and saw him, and everyone said, "Where's Jorge?" Jorge was in New York until the day before until the day of. He arrived on Thursday. This guy at this point is so over it. He's not even getting to the track and getting ready and doing all that stuff. He's being a tourist in New York. It not only is it not a good look, it's almost sad now because the series needs Jorge to be good. It really does. And right now he's so irrelevant that like we've said before, he's the bizarro stoner. He's the only one who can't ride it. Jack Miller says it's the best bike he's ever ridden. He's doing well. Tito Rabat is getting like the best result of his career every fucking race.
Yeah. That dude's
Tito Rabat is a top 10 rider, straight up.
Good now. Slight correction. It's not that he can't. I think he just, to your point, I think you made the same point, but you kind of countered it. He just won't. He's just not trying. He's over it.
Is it?
He's lost that.
I mean,
instinct.
he thinks that Dovizioso is like undercutting his career and making
he
it
literally
hard for
said
him.
that. He literally said that.
Fucking guy's ruining my life.
Could you imagine Stoner, Valentino, or Mark Marquez saying Danny Pedrosa is undercutting my career? Could you imagine Casey Stoner saying that Dovizioso is undercutting my career? Like, this is you're talking about a 3-time champion who beat 3 of the best ever to do it, heads up, is saying that a guy who has never won a title in the premier class or the intermediate class has been undercutting his career, his whole career.
Yeah.
Dude, I couldn't even imagine those words coming out of Cal's mouth.
Yeah, I could. Yes.
Like,
Stop.
Oh, you could? You could? Okay. Never mind.
If he hadn't done that, I would have won the race.
To Cal's credit there, Dovi actually did do that to Cal. He took all his thunder at Ducati. Like, to Cal's defense there, even though he couldn't hear this because he has us blocked, I actually would give Cal the benefit of the doubt on that statement. Dovi did outperform Cal at every turn of their career when they could be compared. On the other hand, until last year, Dovi wasn't sniffing Jorge's jock. Dovi was a mid-pack rider. He was and this is the truth. Jorge beat Valentino Rossi on the same machinery. He beat Casey Stoner when Stoner was on a Honda, and he beat Mark Marquez after Marquez was a 2-time champion. You're talking about supposedly one of the best ever, and now he's come to the point where he is complaining about fucking Dovizioso.
Yep, he always had the Yamaha at peak Yamaha, so he was always in that right seat at the right time. I mean, there's always that for riders. I argue that about Rossi a lot, but I mean, the reality is Lorenzo's always been a little bitch. I mean, I was a Lorenzo fan for my own reasons from when he was a 250s guy, but because he always rode pretty hard and intense. He was kind of like a Max Biaggi in a lot of ways, I thought, but dude, yeah, I feel like he's finally that guy that's got the millions of dollars going, why the fuck am I doing this? And it's showing. And it's like, dude, it's clear you don't want to be out there.
Because you think about Jorge right now, and if you had just started watching this series 18 months ago, and I were to tell you, you know what? Jorge once broke his collarbone, had it plated, and then rode to 5th. Jorge once broke both his ankles in the most spectacular high side you ever saw, and then fucking raced. Jorge on a 250 had a pole lap that was faster than the 500cc pole lap. And you'd be like, are we talking about the same George, son? Like,
but that's back when he... But that's when he had that good ride. The taste of victory was kind of easy for him, right? Now it's really hard. The adversity level is fucking monumental. And I think that's where he just doesn't have that determination. And he's had so much success. And he's kind of like, dude, I'm not fucking risking myself for this shit. I don't know, man. I personally think the rumor to Suzuki is probably the best thing he could do but we thought the same thing with Iannone. So it kind of makes you wonder. It's like, well, I don't fucking know the right answer at this point. Go back to Yamaha, I guess.
But that's like to your point, and we've kind of said this before. Like Jorge needs a change that is completely outside of him, so that he can make his own change. Like at this point, he seems completely lost on the Ducati. Right, more cognitive dissonance going on here. Like he doesn't look like he's trying. He's walking his way out of this contract and out of any chance of renewal. And to me, it just looks like he wants the change. Then he needs to get it done. Like if he stays there, I couldn't imagine him staying at Ducati even attempting to turn around. He can't even attempt to he doesn't even try to go to the ride in the rain anymore.
No, but he can't even show up and go to the fucking. He's not even be a corporate citizen. Like Hayden in his worst days would at least be an amazing fucking representative of his brand. And to your point, he can't even show up to a Ducati fucking meet and greet and like, hey, I love Ducati. You guys are all great. I'm the guy. Like,
not only show up to the meet and greet, but the fucking Broto Army, literally multiple reports of just ignoring fans and not signing autographs. Walking through the sea of people, not signing one. Look, I get it. You're a pro racer. You've got shit in your brain. Dude, bro, you can take 10 seconds and sign 5 autographs.
Yeah, that's how you know he's done. And ironically, he's embracing the villain.
But he's
without knowing it.
Like, look, Ric Flair was the villain, but he was still the 15-time world champion. If you want to be a good villain, you got to be a threat. Look, everyone's looking forward to Thanos because we're pretty sure he's going to kill Captain America, son. He's going to kill Captain America. Happen.
All right, can we move on from George?
Hear this. I can't hear this.
It. I'm over it, dude. Like, I'm not even.
And that's the problem. That's the problem. No, yeah, you're
right.
I mean,
I want to talk about this Amy broad.
We're not talking about now.
Damn!
Wow.
Like
wow.
That was swaggy, huh?
You just got demoted again. No, we're skipping. Okay, we'll talk about Amy. All right, so up on Simon Watch, because we need a new segment entitled Simon Watch to figure out how Simon did this week at MotoGP. How good do you think Simon was?
Simon Crafer was the best. At the Cota round, did the best pit lane reporting he's ever done, bar none, no expense. He stepped up his game like you can't even imagine. When push came to shove, when the 3-pointer needed to get hit at the buzzer, Simon Crafer pulled a LeBron and passed to Dwayne Wade, and fucking Amy Dagan, Dwayne Wade of a thing, slam dunked that shit and was done. Hire her full time. Why are we even talking about Simon Crafer? There's someone who's infinitely better at the job and infinitely better at everything about it. Sign her up. And you know why she's infinitely better? Because she actually asked a question in pit lane.
I'm looking at her. She's infinitely hotter than Simon Crafer too.
Shut up, Everett. Oh man, we're talking about a journalist here.
Shut up. Shut up, That's old school. Look, there's nothing wrong with a pretty lady, but the reality is she was super good at the job. She was well-spoken. She asked interesting questions. She was like, go back and look at some of those videos. Because how much racing was there was Moto2, Moto3, and MotoAmerica all tracks. There's multiple times where she's interviewing and then bikes are just motoring down the straight, right? And she doesn't even skip a beat. This chick was pro as fuck. There's absolutely no reason for Simon Crafer to still be here.
Who?
Like, he's Drew Bledsoe, and that chick is Tom Brady, straight up. Like, bro, you just got kicked off the team. Sorry.
Monday Night Football. Don't get that concussion later, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Amy was legit. Sometimes, look, I hate for Simon to lose his job because of, like, logistical problems. Like, logistical problems. Bro, you're from New Zealand and you're coming to America. You don't need a visa. There's no logistical problems. Unless you've got, like, felony fucking convictions in New Zealand, you can come here with no visa. They just stamp your shit. They ask you like 8 questions at SFO and then you're good. There's no logistical problems. The reality is that you suck at the job and we decided to try someone else out and she was hella good at it.
Yeah. I would say that's the reality though.
We can pull what were those Simon and Ebert, the like movie critic guys? We could do like thumbs up, thumbs down. I mean, I give a solid thumbs up.
I give Amy a solid 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. All right, there you go.
That's not even.
It's unanimous. They did. That's how they voted on the movie critic reviews dude. It's before your time, Rob. Sorry, bro.
No, I believe you. I just think it's a completely irrelevant test because we all love Amy.
Here's the thing.
I'm just making sure it's very clear.
Amy's like report card from all over. Again, like the Broto Army is not the nicest or the most accepting of people in general, right? We are very discriminating. You got to be a straight pimp to earn the respect of not just this podcast, but like the fandom in general. And I had so many messages and so many posts and so many tags about how everyone loved her. It was universal, top to bottom, left to right. No one had anything bad to say about her whatsoever. And this was just like a person they threw in the job on short notice. Crafar had an entire offseason to prepare for this role. He knew exactly what he was doing. And they're like, Amy, can you fill in for a second? And she fucking hit it out of the park. Get her on the broadcast full time. If you're not going to have Robert Everett, you have Amy.
Yes. To be fair, I shouldn't be fair to Simon, but I mean, Amy's been with the GP crew for, I think this is her 3rd year. She has plenty of experience with them. Like, she obviously, her pronunciation of everyone's names is amazingly better than the Kiwi Simon. But no, I mean, to me, it's the difference between someone that has journalism experience and getting a motorcycle racer to try and change who they are and be a journalist.
I'm just going to say, Rob said, to be fair to Simon, Amy was super qualified.
She was hella qualified, bro.
To be fair, she was simply way more qualified.
Way qualified.
All right, wow. Yeah, that happens.
Fuck! I mean, to be fair, she had all the necessary prerequisites, and then thrown to the wolves, she performs perfectly and spectacularly. Let's decide between this highly qualified chick who's perfect at the job and this super underqualified, poorly spoken New Zealand guy who kind of sucks at it. Fuck, I don't know. What are we going to do?
I got to think about that one. I don't know. I need some time.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean...
Pizza. You got pizza behind you, dude. I want some.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy to me that she was able to step up and do so well on short notice. Again, like Rob said, yeah, she's been doing it for 3 years. I mean, Simon Crafar is a pro racer. Look, we could pronounce 3/4 of the names better than this guy. I literally said, like, you know what they should have done was had him do Moto 2 and Moto 3 to get some practice, because I get the insight of a former race winner, 500cc. It makes sense, but he needs to practice and he needs to get his feet wet. And everyone's first response was, bro, if you put him in Moto 2, he wouldn't get anyone's name right. So, bro, if you put him in the remedial class, he would still fail? Why are you putting him in AP? You can't put him in AP algebra.
You just promote him to the bigs. Like, you go pitch that game. Let's go, bro. Let's do this. Close it out. No.
Right.
All right. I think we've bagged on Simon enough there.
I'm not bagging on Simon. I'm not bagging on Simon. I get all that.
Okay,
because what you said, Rob, was perfect. Simon has zero experience and is learning on the fly. Meanwhile, we have this very well-spoken, charismatic, interesting chick who's highly qualified and super good at the job.
Highly qualified.
Why isn't she doing it full time? It makes no sense to me.
She might be. We don't know that yet, right? Was it really just a... Yeah, that's just...
I think I'm sure there are many
everybody
meetings.
That's listening, write a nice note to Dorna. Let them know how happy you are that she filled in, and maybe she'll get the, we don't know. We should ask. If she's listening, let us know. Did you get the full-time gig? We hope you did.
Yeah, you know that our fans would just write notes just saying to fire Simon. It wouldn't be like, hey, Amy was amazing.
I know. Why does everyone always want to be critical? Just be positive with the positive outcome.
You can't unleash the Broto Army with like a sense of like, if you want a whole group of people to go plant petunias, if you want a whole group of people to go plant petunias, the Broto Army ain't that group of people. Call UNICEF. But if you want a group of people to burn the forest to the ground, I got your peeps, son. I got them on speed dial.
It really is. It's Bruce Willis in that movie where he's like, you can't bring the U.S. Army.
You're talking about Tears of the Sun.
No, it's a broadsword. It's a broadsword, not a scalpel.
Right.
Where he's in New York. No, not that one.
You want to know something cool about Tears of the Sun? That was supposed to be Rambo 4. That was supposed to be Rambo 4.
Yeah, Tears of the Sun is a different movie, but that is also a very good, high-quality movie.
I did not see that Bruce Willis movie.
I'm thinking of The Siege. I'm thinking of The Siege, by the way. where they try to use.
These guys are weird.
Anyway, yeah.
Which movie?
The Siege. Denzel, Bruce Willis, FBI, U.S. Army, taking over terrorism in New York City. You can't unleash the U.S. Army. That's like putting a broadsword, blah, 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 something. Anyway.
Exactly.
No, I'm sorry, have you failed? All right, we've been talking about...
Go watch that tomorrow. I know him. He'll watch that shit.
Yeah, no, he will. All right.
Respect, bro.
We've been talking about the BrotoGP Army a lot, so let's finish this one off with a shit ton of listener questions.
Nah, bro, there's more to talk. I gotta talk about
No, it's all getting in there. That is
booze. We talked about invading the paddock, and you got to give a shout out. Look, there was a guy who got mad at me about Danny. I don't dislike him as a human being. There's nothing wrong. I just don't want him to take up the Repsol Honda seat. Let him go ride on a different Honda in the paddock. That's cool. Just not the HRC bike. That's it. That's all I got to say.
Okay, well, we have listener questions about Danny. Michael Robinson wants to know, are Danny's bones really made of chalk, and should he start drinking some milk?
No.
Yes.
Wait, which part of the question? Are they made of chalk, or should he drink the milk?
Look,
I'll go with the milk. I'll go with the milk. I don't think the
needs
chalk.
to down some whole milk straight up. Like, that guy's got more osteoporosis than like a 53-year-old single mom. What in the hell is happening with him? He breaks everything. Like, I feel bad because I like Danny. I've said this, but Danny has an injury-prone guy who weighs like 115 pounds. And he doesn't weigh enough to get traction chart. Why has this guy not hired a nutritionist? And a personal fitness, guy, and put on 15 pounds of muscle.
Dude, why doesn't he
work
out
too
Cal
late.
Crutchlow? Did you see Cal Crutchlow's fucking forearms?
It's not too late, Rob. He's in his early 30s. He's fine. And even if it was too late, get yourself a TRT exemption, medical exemption, and get jacked. 30 is the fucking, you know what I mean? Like, get jacked. Have you seen Cal Crutchlow's forearms?
Dude,
he has like 19 veins that are bigger than your arm, Rob. Danny needs to realize that he needs to put in serious work into some Olympic lifting, because that lifting surrounds your bones with thicker, stronger muscles and the ligaments and connecting material, and that stuff is scientifically proven that long-term lifting increases bone density. This guy is so brittle, and you look at the rest of this paddock, it's like, how come no one is telling him this? I don't understand how he can just continue to be this completely undefined, like non-vascular, tiny little guy. Get jacked. Like, Rob, if you started lifting, you'd be jacked in like 4 days, because there's nowhere for the muscle to go but out, right? You'd have pecs to here, son.
Kev, you got to come down to San Diego and help me out. Help me out for 4 days.
I am coming down to San Diego to compete next fucking month, May 12th, dog. Ooh. You're going to come up here to Sonoma on May 10th. I'm going to drive home with you to compete.
Do it. You can come in the Riders Law van.
Right. Title of Rob's sex tape. Title of Rob's sex tape. We have reached peak Rob sex tape.
Peak Rob sex tape.
With you can come in the Riders Law van.
That was so bad, Rob. You don't even know what you're walking into.
No, I did it on purpose. No, I did it on purpose. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
So the next question. Yes, Danny's bones are brittle. Why he doesn't seem to do anything about this clear weakness, I don't know.
All right, I think this one has a very easy answer for us, but it's worth talking about. Should Miller have been penalized for his pass on Lorenzo?
No. Nope. Fuck no.
Tell me why.
A racing move.
No contact.
Move, bitch. Get out the way. That's why.
Move. Fucking ludicrous style, son. Move, bitch. Get out the way. Look, no contact, which should be the number one rule. No contact initiated. Lorenzo didn't crash or have any issues afterwards, and Miller does not have a history of borderline unsafe passes.
Right.
Miller, for all his, cool stuff and crazy stories, is not known as a crazy dangerous racer. He does it. And that was the whole point of the penalty points, which was never implemented. But the idea was that we would punish a trend. We would punish, a pattern of events. Miller does not have that pattern of events, and Jorge did not crash and there was no contact. Clear as day, completely dry. No, he should not have been penalized, and Jorge should not have been shaking his head afterwards.
I don't even know why we're talking about it.
Because some guy asked. And we love our fans.
We gotta clarify some things. All right. We gotta do that. The same Mark Lepanzi wants to know: will Zarco remain a top contender on a KTM? So for predictions, we suck at predictions. Just to let you know, Mark.
Not the first year, second year. He'll be there.
Where I'm good at predictions is on Instagram. On the podcast, I'm weirdly terrible at it. But on Instagram, I predicted every single Dovi win last year on Friday.
Damn. Wow. Wait, Friday after having watched free practice or before?
Friday after free practice, I said Dovi would win.
Wow. No, I mean, I think that that really depends on KTM. They're throwing a lot of money at it, and Zarco seems to be a talented rider, but we don't know how the bike stacks up in terms of like riding style. It seems to be somewhat of a neutral motorcycle in that it's not super hard braking, it's not super high corner speed, it's somewhere in the middle. But at the same time, we only have Bradley and Pole to compare to, and they're useless.
I haven't looked at all the stats and analytics of it, but I mean, is the bike trending up or is it kind of flat? Feels like it's getting
flat.
Better.
It's flat in that, and flat in GP is actually trending down.
Yes, that's the problem. But the other problem is Bradley Smith. Is he also trending down? Yes, in my opinion. And is Pole flat or trending down? Pole was never the talent that we thought he would be in GP. And he's been flat basically since day one, which means he's trending down. It really seems to me both those guys are riding for a paycheck at this point. They have no enthusiasm for it, and they're just there to be there. They're kind of like Alicia Spargo on Aprilia right now. They know that that's it for them. Like, imagine it's hard for someone like Pole or Bradley to ride hard and put everything on the line, knowing that this is the end of the line for factory rides. Like, my career is on a downward trend. Like, remember, like, Ev, you remember in 2004, 2005, Kenny Roberts Jr. was riding the GSV, the Suzuki GSV, and he basically said, look, I'm not taking chances because this bike is not a race-winning bike. It's a top 10 bike at best. Yeah. And that was when you knew it was done, right? Well, John Hopkins was crashing his brains out to try to get 7th.
Right. Hey, which you kind of want to respect, but at the same time, it's like, how dumb can you be? But yeah.
Right. I respect it because you don't want to trash your body to get 6th. But at some point, it's really hard for us to tell how good that bike really is because we have two riders that have reached the zenith of their career and are well past it on the way down. Bradley is a test rider in 18 months, and Pole is World Superbike bound in less than a year.
Bradley's not going to be, I don't even know if he'll make him a test rider at this point, but I guess he had GP experience. But I think Pole had some promise, but it's one of those things, if you don't get the right direction fast enough, it's just too late. It's one of the other things I didn't get to bring up in the podcast. We didn't have it on the syllabus is I feel like this year is the year where everyone's kind of getting tired of seeing the standard guard. We're ready for a changing of the guard. Right. I feel like there's too many people. Like I always harp on Danny being in the Repsol seat, but I mean, I'm talking a wholesale change across the board, not just, I mean, nobody's doing it. It's boring, man. We're just getting Marquez and Dovi. I mean, in theory, Dovi's not even supposed to be a top tier rider. So it's like, what the fuck are we doing? Should we get more guys coming up from Moto2 that actually have the talent? Is it time for a wholesale change?
It's been that for it was definitely that last year as well, right? Like Hector Barbera finally lost his ride. Loris Baz came in and left. Like Sam Lowe's was fired. Like the Zarco. We talked about this previously.
I want front pack.
You want front pack, but front pack probably won't really start to snowball and actually pick up speed until Valentino retires, until Danny does lose that ride. So I mean, if Danny signs for 2 more years, then we got to wait until Danny and Valentino retire at the end of 2 years after that. So 3 years.
And I get what Ev's saying because it goes to the same thing I said about Marquez, which is we already know the story. And we know the story with Danny on Repsol. And I like Danny, so I'm not trying to hate. But we know the story with Danny. He's going to get hurt. He's going to miss some races. He'll have some gritty races through the pain, and he'll win 1 or 2 races, and we'll all be reminded that, fuck, this guy's won every year. Remember, Valentino hasn't won every year of his career, and neither has fucking Jorge Lorenzo. Danny Pedrosa has won a race every single year since 2006, his rookie year, and it's fucking 2018. So we know he'll win. The problem, to Ev's credit, is as long as you have Marc Marquez, you think to myself, if you're Repsol, you think, well, here's this guy who we know is going to win 2 races every single year and not threaten our number 1 rider. Why would we sign anyone else?
I've seen this movie and I've seen this sequel, and I'm not going to fucking see Rambo 5. I'm sorry. I'm just not. It's like I want to go see a fucking new exciting movie with new exciting characters, and they're all Tom Cruise still, but I want to see, and fucking Sylvester Stallone, but I want to see different people and that's why they do silly season and the shakeup of the bikes. But I just feel like,
well, that's also
Rins got on the Yamaha instead of Rossi, and Rossi went somewhere else, or someone else did something, and like, just shake it up. I get they won't port out all the names because you need consistency in the series for the fan base. You just can't wholesale change everybody out, but something's got to give.
And we know that Dorna doesn't actually have full control over all this stuff. They're not the overarching emperor here, right? The factories have quite a bit of say in who gets to ride their motorcycles.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's collaborative.
No, I'm sure Dorna puts certain pressures. The factories put certain pressures on Dorna for certain things, but from the rider's perspective, I think, Dorna. Look, there's a reason certain people are in the series at all, right? You've got to have representatives from all over the place so that you get all the fan base, right? Why is Hafiz Siren in there, right? It's because he's from fucking Malaysia, man.
But not. I will agree with you on satellite bikes, but not for factory rides. Not one.
Yeah, I was going to say Dorna wields way more influence on the satellite riders than they do on the factory riders.
Rob, what are we even moving on to? We're done with the syllabus, dude.
We got
listener questions.
Ev, right. When I posted the listener questions the other day, it exploded. We have probably hundreds of listener questions across all the platforms. Literally hundreds.
There's about 150. It looks like. We've already talked about quite a few of them. Jennifer wants to know who will put a restraining order on her first, Zarco or Petrucci.
Sorry. Well, okay, I can answer this question because the moment. Here's why. No dude is putting a restraining order on a chick until he hits it first. But the problem is, when she posted those pictures of her scoping that chick that was with Zarco, that chick is not feeling it. She was posting pictures of Zarco's fucking side piece already. So you got to slow down with the side piece photos.
Oh, wow. Damn, so Zarco first. Didn't Petrucci had like the hover arm, right? Didn't we hear about that? Like just like wrapping it around, not like
Hey, girl.
Oh man.
In her defense, she's like 9 feet tall.
Well, that's because she was taking pictures with Danny too.
Whatever, so those dudes are intimidated.
Yeah. All right. Troy Shear on Instagram wants to know, what fancy technology is Dorna using to pipe in cheers and filter out boos? Because I heard a lot of cheers on the feed. Yeah. Nothing? Right. You got no response for me?
No, I mean, you don't need fancy technology, bro. I mean, Rob could pipe in boos right now on our weird, like, rendezvous wirecast thing. Like, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. When it comes to the feed itself, it's not hard. You just have a laugh track or a boo track or a cheer track. It's not hard to change the tracks. I mean, and are they actually doing that is the question. I don't know, because when he came out to do the post-race interview in Parc Ferme, they booed the shit out of him. And that was caught on camera, and Marquez actually commented on it. I don't think they're actually doing that too much because of how audible it was on the feed. And based on the videos that I got sent from fans, like, it was pretty clear he was getting booed mercilessly. Will they start doing that? I think, yeah, because the booing's not going to go away. It's going to get worse. And I think at some point they're going to try to manufacture cheering for him big time.
But that'll just make it worse is the huge problem there.
Then it'll get reported, then it'll get out of hand, and it'll be crazy.
They'll hashtag fake news it to try and cover it up more. It won't work because we'll just keep on it. Yeah. All right,
Okay,
Jackalo wants to know why does Rins keep fucking him out of his money on Fantasy League by riding up front and then throwing it down? What's up with Rins? Why is he pulling? Why did he pull the crutch though?
Right.
Dude, he's that kid's got it. He's just overriding right now, trying to prove it.
You think so? I mean,
yeah.
I would say that was true of Qatar. Like, it really seemed like he was fighting real hard to stay in that pack. But at Cota, didn't have it all weekend for Iannone. Wasn't really there. And yeah. Kev, what are you doing? Kev, come back.
Hold on.
Okay,
hold on.
I'm not letting you guys talk for a minute. The reason is everyone's answered the question, but one thing Rob does not do is Rob doesn't pay attention to our Twitter. Because our Twitter is like the black sheep of our social media program. We don't have many people followers. It's not really our main goal. And mostly Twitter is where me and Ryan kill Matt Oxley. But I actually posted, and we got a lot of comments on Twitter, which was on... I'm not a big fan of the platform Twitter. Me and Ev have talked about this a million times, but we got a ton of comments regarding what the people are talking about on Twitter. So I was, while Rob and Ev were discussing, I was looking at our Twitter and trying to find some good stuff on the Twitter because there's a lot of questions.
So here's the thing, Rob. All right, let me keep
check. Yeah.
So last year, Rins, when he came back, did phenomenal. And I think that coming in late season, still doing well is such a big statement, first and foremost. Second of all, this track, we already talked about, this track doesn't lend itself to balance for everybody. So the fact that he still was there, I think is a testament. You look at, and if you then take it further than that, you compare how he's doing versus Vinales on the Suzuki. I think for his first couple of years in MotoGP and what he's done is absolutely a prelude of things to come if he gets on a more formidable bike.
But that's what. So you're just gonna wait for a different motorcycle, though, right? Because I don't think I don't think the spot exists. He's gonna have to do it on the Suzuki.
It might. What if he went to Honda instead of Pedrosa?
He's gonna sign for Suzuki within 2 races, and Repsol's not even thinking about offering him a contract. Right? They're going to take either Zarco.
There's no way Repsol signs the guy who beat their champion to be his partner.
I'm just saying.
Wait, say that again.
No, keep going. I think I misunderstood you guys because I wasn't paying attention.
I was saying, what if Rins backfilled Pedrosa? He's saying there's no way he'll do it. He's going to re-sign with Suzuki. They're not going to let him go. He's their future talent guy. I'm not disagreeing, Rob, but let's just say he went to there and actually had a good bike. Could he be a contender? And I think he could. You see, he's got the juice, man.
I think
Rins was the guy when that trifecta of Moto2 riders came up, right? Alex Lowe's, Johan Zarco, you can't see my hands. Alex Lowe's, Johan Zarco, and Alex Rins came up, or excuse me, Sam Lowe's. Rins was the guy who I thought had the most potential early on, and actually, when they bounced Zarco and decided not to give him the contract and said they would give it to Rins instead, I initially thought that was probably the better move. Probably wrong in hindsight, but I do think Rins has a lot of potential. He was one of the few guys that was able to adapt to Moto2 quickly, which we know, as Rob and I have talked about a bunch of times, is an early sign. He was one of the few guys that could be a Moto3 winner, adapt to Moto2, and then win. He got to the Suzuki and right off the bat had a super dope test livery. Remember that livery? That was sick back when he first signed with Suzuki, but would he be a contender on Repsol Honda? I don't know. He hasn't shown me enough yet because he was injured so much last year. Yeah. I can't really answer that question until the end of this year.
I mean, I think he'd be a contender as much as nearly anyone else on the grid on the best bike on the grid.
No,
right? You throw someone on the. It's just the thing that we've seen, right? Compare him to Zarco, right? He hasn't been able to adapt to the GP setting as fast as Zarco has. And we're comparing a factory team to a satellite team, right? There is more technical expertise at factory Suzuki than there is in Tech 3. Even though Tech 3 is by far and away, or at least they've shown us recently, by far and away, they are the best satellite team for preparing riders to ride MotoGP bikes. Like the Fish Siren is doing amazing.
It's the most balanced bike, the most balanced bike with the most technical data, with the most time on that, the time working with the same bike. I mean, walking into Tech 3 Yamaha is like a godsend to a rookie.
Yeah.
Not really. And hold on, not really, because here's why. No, I got a good response. Is it a godsend to a rookie? Tell me someone who's walked into Tech 3 Yamaha and moved up to a factory rider as a rookie.
Just Ben Spies.
Right.
He's the only one to move up.
Yamaha does not promote. Yamaha barely promotes. So if you go to Tech 3, you know you have to make a lateral move right away. Right? You know that factory Yamaha doesn't take Tech 3 riders. They take winners, or they either take rookies straight through or take winners from other teams. Tech 3 Yamaha is basically, you're smashing the ceiling the moment you start. It doesn't matter. Look at Andre Dovizioso had 6 podiums that year in one of the most. Yeah, we've talked about this. It's not actually the best seat there was. Is a Yamaha Tech 3 ride better than Suzuki factory? I don't think so.
Would you rather be on an Aprilia or a KTM or a Tech 3? I'd take Tech 3.
Well, yes, but that's like saying, you know what I mean? But yes, would you rather be on Aprilia or KTM? But would you rather be on factory Suzuki? I'll tell you this. Would you rather be on Tech 3 Yamaha, or would you rather be on the number 1 seat at Pramac?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Tech 3.
But probably the Pramac.
But that's
Pramac
moves historically.
Pramac moves guys to.
I'll give you that. Pramac is arguably a pretty top satellite seat now, as is like Crutchlow's seat. But Tech 3 historically has just been such a good ride as a rookie and a newcomer to MotoGP on a satellite bike. If you can't get the factory ride, right now, there's so many factories. But that's where it's really interesting, is they're pretty lesser.
The Tech 3 seat is the best entry point for getting a second-tier factory ride. Right? If you're a rookie, you can't go into a second-tier factory ride. You got to jump on a Tech 3, and then you move over to Suzuki. But all right, we're moving on.
I got a question.
The matrix in the hierarchy of workflow. Like, here's the 2 teams you want. If not, go here, then work over to here, and yeah.
Speaking of all the different factories that exist, my man Nate on Twitter actually asked us, could Marquez make every manufacturer a champion?
No.
But he could make a lot of them.
Yeah, he's got a style.
Said this for 3 years now. He would win the title on the Ducati. First year.
Yeah, hands down.
And could he win it on the Yamaha? Hands down.
I don't know if he could do it. I think he would have like Honda level dominance or just similar skills on the Ducati. I think on the Honda, there would be teething problems. On the Yamaha, there would be teething problems, and it would take him a little while. I think the same thing is true of the Suzuki. I do not think that he could win it on the Aprilia, like within. I don't even think he could do it the second year with the Aprilia.
No way.
And I think he might be able to do it the second year with the KTM.
Yeah,
because the reason I agree with KTM is he would struggle mightily the first year, but he would push that bike so hard. And KTM, we know, has the investment that they would take advantage of that year of insane data they've never had before. With the amount of money behind that system, he could. I think that Suzuki, I'm worried about their continued investment, and I'd see him winning races the first year. I don't see him winning the championship on Suzuki because they're too wishy-washy. Like, the history of Suzuki does not lend me to thinking having confidence in them. I do think that
they've got a satellite team now. Well, they
don't have
all of the wishy-washy. Almost.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think Kev, I agree with your KTM point. I think that he would push that bike so hard, he would flex that trellis frame, and KTM would come out with an aluminum twin spar the following year.
Nice job. No.
Ricky Tangerine wants to know if we're all just concrete dust in the wind. Yes, we are.
Yes, pretty much.
Just like Cota's, we're like Cota's back straight.
All right, Kev, I got one from Twitter.
Okay.
Dan Ward says, I haven't seen Scott Redding Instagram his misses for a while. Then Mav gets a podium. Has she gone back there?
No, because he Instagrammed her today, son. Today. After he changed the tire on his car, after he pumped that car tire up by hand. Who the fuck does that? Right? Like,
I do that.
Scott Redding got paid. He's got money. You know what I'm saying? He posted he is out riding motocross with Kiara today. Literally today.
True love.
There
True
you
love.
go,
True
Janmore.
love.
Good thing we got the delayed episode. Otherwise, we'd have to speculate wildly on that one.
Next
Where's
question.
Kiara? Or where's Veronica? Actually, that's what they really want to know.
A lot of people want to know about Project Catfish. Like that was the thing I didn't make up 5 seconds before the podcast started.
Like you actually had a plan.
A lot of people on Instagram want to talk about Moto 2. That's a pretty that's a different story. Maybe we'll do another episode and talk about that. Maybe we'll do like a Moto 2 season update after a couple of races. I definitely don't think we want to go too heavily into that right now. Adam627 wants to hashtag make Laguna GP again. I enjoy that, but it's never happening.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's never happening because of politics and Monterey and super rich people who moved near tracks and decided they didn't like those tracks.
Pussy track day guys who want to fucking cry about how they're suing the track and trying to close it because they don't know how to ride and crash and fucking turn 6 or whatever it was.
Yep.
Dude, fucking what
it's
an
a bad
asshole.
area. It's a bad area to have, and I know we're not going to get into politics because Rob will cut me off, but it's a bad area to try to have a racetrack. And I'm not going to go into why.
The area
and on
the area
the Bay Area is nuanced. It's nuanced.
Yeah. No, the Monterey area.
The Laguna area, they can't even put up enough cell phone towers so that everyone can have good cell coverage at the track.
That's what makes it great.
There is no investment from the track itself to host those series as well as they possibly can. It honestly, like we go there for Superbike and MotoAmerica, obviously, and compared to like other tracks that go above and beyond just for MotoAmerica, it seems like Laguna is just kind of skirting by. So they're not going to bring GP back.
It's a classic example of NIMBYs. It's not in my backyard, and it's done. Laguna was a great track, but it's got poor facilities surrounded by an even poorer area that doesn't really want the race.
Yeah.
Indy is a terrible track with great facilities, and Cota is, until this time, a decent track with really good facilities. I don't know what the future for American racing is, but it's not Laguna. Which sucks because we live relatively close to Laguna and we'd hit there easier and all that. And obviously the storied history of Laguna and Nicky winning that inaugural race for the return, not the inaugural, but the return race and all that. But it's just not happening. I mean, as Gary Burgess said, it's, quote, a shitty little track.
I got a question, and I'm a listener.
Yep.
Did anybody get a picture with Gronk at Cota?
Well, that was Gronk showed up, son.
No.
Gronk, and they just let him in too. They didn't ask for nothing.
No, he's on the pit, like, yeah. Rob Gronkowski, the tight end for the Patriots, he showed up, and like there was a video of him at one of the things. He was on like Sports Center doing something stupid, and it was like, dude, get this guy to go to all the GPs. This guy's great.
So they showed him on the feed in pit lane or on the grid.
Yeah, but he was on like some after party doing some dumb shit. It was hilarious. So
was Redding there?
One guy has a really good point that could be a topic for a minute, which is Labor of Lust said, talk about Crutchlow blowing it after saying he deserves to be leading the championship. This guy literally, I'm deserved to win the championship. They pump it up like crazy. They refer to, basically his name was changed to championship leading, Cal Crutchlow. And basically they tried to draw, I mean, Rob cut me off, and I'm never going to forget that, on the talk of with Hayden and Marquez, but they were literally like Barry Sheen and Cal Crutchlow were the same sentence. They were the same word. Cal Crutchlow, Barry Sheen was one name. They were trying to put that shit next to each other like Al-Qaeda and Iraq. I mean, they were literally saying as much as humanly possible. It's 2 races in, bro, and your championship leader got fucking a huge penalty that got him out of the points, and we're acting like this is fucking 7 races in and Cal is miraculously leading the title. What in the hell was going on with that?
Just, I mean, we obviously the announcers are British and we listen to the British feed, not really the world English feed. A lot of favoritism there. They do it every single time. That's why everyone talks shit about the booze too. It's the same fucking people doing it. No, I mean, I don't know. We hate on Cal plenty, and I don't think we need to go there that much more. Do we need to bring back Cal Bash in time? If he comes out, if he's in like the press conference next time and he says a bunch of shit about how he should have won the race and how he should still be leading the championship. I mean, he did kind of say a little bit of that. But if he keeps on it, then I'm gonna jump on cow bashing time for sure. For sure.
Dude, I'm just over it. I don't even have the bandwidth for cow bashing time. It's like the dude always says, "Oh, we should have been at the front today, or we should have fucking won, or we should have been on the podium." It's like, no, dude, you really fucking shouldn't have been. You got lucky every time you've been there, I feel like. But that's cool. Like, do you, man?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of, it's almost sort of a joke now. It's kind of like, it's a joke that's run its course because he keeps saying shit. We're talking about the guy who literally said, "I crashed out because I'm not a top 6 rider anymore." You know, like this is like that quote. Like that's paraphrased, but that's basically what he said. I'm not a top 6 rider anymore. Like, and I get it. You have to have a certain level of self-belief to actually run in MotoGP. Like, if you don't think you're the best rider in the world and your circumstances just haven't lined up perfectly, you shouldn't even be on that grid. Because like everyone likes to say, they're all studs. Jorge. Right, they're all fucking studs. Carol Abraham is faster than anyone you guys have ever met on a motorcycle. You know what I'm saying? But the idea that he has this much self-belief, I respect, but he cannot stop saying, like, it's like he's inadvertently playing the villain but doesn't realize it.
That's bad, dude. That's bad.
Must be embraced. All right, our last question, which we're actually not going to talk about. Everyone wants us to talk about the MotoAmerica Superbike races, and we are going to. It is
not only are we going to.
Oh, no, Rob. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. Not only are we going to, but Kev is going to get a new fucking microphone because he's been fidgeting on the video like he normally does, and his new fidget toy this episode is his broken blue snowball microphone.
This is called the Blue Snowball. Rob bought me a microphone called the Blue Ball or the Snowball and thought that I wasn't going to talk about this on the podcast. This fucking shit gets a boner. Look at it. It extends. Are you freaking me right now? This stuff, it's literally here. It's called the Blue Ball, and then it gets a fat boner.
This fucking race gave me blue balls.
Exactly. So, yes, we're going to have a podcast. Ever just texted me, "Oh, shit, that's on the side, son. What's he trying to say? That's controversial." But literally, yes, we have a microphone on order. It broke. It'll be here on Friday. We'll fix it. Will we talk about MotoAmerica? Fuck yeah, we will. And will there be some MotoAmerica guests on the podcast? Yes, they will, because I got numbers, son. I got saved phone numbers in my phone. I got peeps on speed dial, Rob.
Yeah, because of all you amazing fans, people are now actually calling us to be on the show. So it's gonna happen. We found out some amazing things.
They're calling Kev. They ain't calling me.
Well, it's because we just kind of keep you in the closet over there, Ev. I'm not sure if we should let you out in public. At least,
you'd be calling people broad left and right.
Which is exactly why. Which is
you see that picture, Kev?
No picture yet.
Look at it.
No picture, just the text. No picture yet.
Read the text.
All right, I'm closing this one out, guys.
Hold on, Rob.
Read the picture.
Closing it out.
So one of the things that we decided this year was we'd cover MotoAmerica a lot more. Look, Cal Crutchlow just straight up said he wants to retire. Before he retires, he wants to ride MotoAmerica. So we know MotoAmerica's on the up and up. We're trying to cover it a lot. I know we've got, I can think of right now in my phone, 4 top tier MotoAmerica name brand celebrity people who want to be on the show, who we're gonna have on the show. You know, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen next week.
Yeah.
Rob said don't jinx it, but I'm fully jinxing it right now. I got people's numbers on phone. We're set it up anytime, anywhere. We might even try and do it live. But MotoAmerica has shown us a lot of love. We're showing them a lot of love. Despite the fact Taylor 939 basically hates MotoAmerica on our Instagram, we're still going to have the show because, believe it or not, we have more than one fan. We have 9 fans.
I think MotoAmerica is better than World Superbike for me right now, and I'm a big World Superbike fan. I think MotoAmerica's got some good hype. I think Josh Herron's really doing a great job social media-wise to bring that series to life with a lot of people, too.
I'm just going to say, Josh is going back on the show.
There it is. Yep. And on that bombshell, it is time to end. To quote one of my other favorite car shows. All right, everyone. Number 92 is up now. Thanks for listening. We actually made it all the way to 2 hours on a race that we thought that there was almost nothing to talk about. So did we save the day for you? Did we actually make you believe that that was an exciting race? Something to talk about? Not so sure. These two are giving me nothing now that I'm closing it out.
So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you're one of the many new listeners that have been messaging me lately, hit us with some reviews on iTunes. It always helps, gets things popping up on the algorithm and whatnot. And follow us, and we're going to keep doing more videos. And Rob's going to do a Rob's Tech Tape hopefully soon and answer plenty of your tech-related questions.
Yeah, and we need to come up with another top 5, and maybe we'll shoot for a live episode next week too. But all right, everyone, thanks for listening. Catch you later. Peace.